Okay, completing the square. We have a question here where our a value is not 1. Now remember, the very first step to completing the square is we want to figure out what our a value is, and in this case it's 3. We're then going to take that a value and we're going to divide the very first two terms in the trinomial, okay, in this case 3x squared and 36x, by our a term. Okay, so we're going to divide by 3 and we're going to divide by 3. We're going to talk about the reasoning, which we didn't talk about last time before. So this 3 now becomes the common factor on the outside, and we're left with x squared plus 12x. Okay, and then we have the negative 18 at the end, because we're creating a perfect square trinomial. Now, the reason we always divide by our a term is because we're trying to create essentially 1x squared inside the bracket so we can make a perfect square trinomial. So now that we have that, if you guys recall, we got to take our new b term. I call this the new b term because our old one was technically 36x. We divided it by 3, we get 12x. We have to put it into this formula b divided by 2 squared. That means we're going to take 12 divided by 2 and then square it. What is 12 divided by 2? 6, yeah, and then when we square it, 36. Very good. So we're going to be working with plus and minus 36. Okay? That plus and minus value are going to go into our new bracket. So we still have the 3, x squared plus 12x, and we're going to add and subtract 36.
Did you put negative 36 on that?
Yeah, you do that after. Yeah. Now, if you notice, we have positive negative 36. Essentially, that creates a 0. The next step is to take the negative value to the outside of the bracket. In order to do that, I have to multiply the negative value by our a term. In this case, it's 3. You don't have to show that step. If you can do it all in one, you can go for it. Okay? So, when we bring it to the outside of the bracket, yeah, we're going to multiply it by 3. So, negative 36 times 3 is going to give us negative 108. And then minus 18. Now, the whole reason we've done this, and I said this last time, is we've created a perfect square trinomial in the middle. The reason we need a perfect square trinomial is because if you guys recall in vertex form, I'm going to write it up in the top right, y equals ax minus h squared. That squared, okay, plus k. That squared means it's a bracket that's the exact same. We essentially have two brackets that are the exact same. A perfect square trinomial can be factored into one bracket square. Now, I showed you guys how to factor this normally. The quickest way to actually factor this, now that we've done this properly, is to square root the first and last terms, and then to bring down the middle operation. So, what we mean by that is we know in vertex form, we're going to be left with just one bracket squared. Okay, and when we do this on the outside, we're going to have negative 126. Okay. So when I square root x squared, what will we get? That becomes the first term in the bracket. When I square root 36, what will we get? Okay. So those are the two terms that are going to be inside the bracket, and whatever the middle operation is, in this case it's positive 12, we put a positive inside of our bracket. So the vertex form of this is x plus 6.
We can just divide 12 by 2.
To find axis MG. Okay? And that's it. So this is a quicker version. We didn't have to go through all of that major factoring. Okay?